The outer ring of conference security, and this is as close as the protesters could get. Today, the authorities were in no mood to be tolerant. With the eyes of the world on Copenhagen, Denmark does not want these crucial climate talks disrupted. This is the line of defence for the protesters right outside the conference centre, but the determination of the Danish police to make this clear is pretty obvious. Minutes later, the makeshift barrier was lifted. By this stage, the protesters' goal of getting into the conference had failed. But this was just one of today's challenges. Inside the conference, there were protests as well. These were accredited campaigners, allowed in to observe the talks, but now streaming out, objecting to restrictions on their numbers. So what about the event itself? Well, Connie Hedegaard, the Danish minister in charge, surprised many by standing aside for her prime minister. Progress, it seems, is almost non-existent. The president of the tiny Maldives, most at risk from sea level rise, gave a gloomy assessment.
Come tomorrow, heads of states will not have a draft text in front of them. We will be in trouble, and we might not come up with an agreement in Copenhagen.
But tonight, Gordon Brown was doing the rounds and talking up the prospects.
I do see a way forward, but it does depend on each continent wanting to bear its responsibilities and to accept that they've got to go to a higher level of ambition.
This evening, more protests, this time in the city centre. The talks have not been affected. They're just not getting very far. David Schuckman, BBC News in Copenhagen.
Coming up on tonight's programme.